Welcome back to Third Phase of Moon, Hungary. Something unusual captured in the sky via a drone. Are you seeing it? We're playing it again. It's super fast. Let's play it once again. It's enhanced footage coming in, and we're looking at it. This is breaking the internet right now. Footage of something unknown, a cylindrical, cigar-shaped object, whatever you call it. It's a UFO, and it's moving super fast. It actually leaves a trail in its wake. Incredible stuff. Behold the phenomenon. We've got a lot of UFOs tonight, so buckle up. If you're looking for the UFO, you've come to the right place. Third Phase Moon, and we're sharing enhanced footage of something, again, unknown. It's almost as fast as a blink of an eye, but something is trekking across this, captured in 4K. We're sharing it with you. Incredible footage. Brent, what's your thoughts? Yeah, Blake, this is pretty interesting. Look at this. Some people, which we've seen over the decades, would call this a skyfish. Look at that thing. It's just ripping and glinting off whatever this object is, and it's making this rapid movement, kind of like you would see a fish underwater. It's very curious. I've never seen anything like this. Look at that. So weird. I like this video because it has a lot of dynamics to it. You can see it just like tear to the right and then make a pretty fast bank to the left. It's incredible. We got a heads up from Hidden Underbelly and a lot of other people that were sharing this video as soon as we were up this morning. And as soon as we had a cup of coffee, this was pretty much on the table. So I'm glad we're sharing it with you right now. Absolutely, Brent, and give us a big thumbs up for this incredible capture. We're bringing it to you via Third Phase Moon. You can see at one point it's dark and it's glinting almost like you say, a skyfish. But what amazes me is this trail, this wake that's left behind. This is almost remnants of like a shooting star, but it's hard to tell exactly what it is. But if you were to consider the technology of something extraterrestrial in nature, or some kind of unknown biological creature that lives in the atmosphere, who knows? This is just straight up bizarre. One of the greatest captures that I've seen in a long time. Again, people are going to get pumped up, but what's going on over Hungary? Sabanka, I'm not exactly sure how you say it, but we got to get people down on the ground over there. And maybe this happens more often than we think in this neck of the woods. It seems like it's a little small town over there in the countryside of Hungary. But again, is this some kind of biological being, or is this something mechanical, something that is otherworldly? We just have no clue, but we're happy that we could share it with you. Now, let me tell you, there's a lot of things that have been going on right here at Third Phase Moon the past few days in regards to the F-22 Raptor jets engaging a UFO that you may have heard about today in the news, which we broke 3 days before the major news even touched it. But before we get to that, let's get some more UFO videos just in. Take a look at this. Something is going on. I'm doing a reverse on it, and I'm kind of going to flip it back and forth, forward and reverse, so we can get a close look at whatever is in the sky. It's off at a distance. I don't see any manipulation. I'm happy that whoever was on the ground captured this, and they're sharing it right now. We're seeing some lights coming off through some kind of portal, a row of lights coming from this disc-shaped object. No means of propulsion. We're looking at something, again, that's unidentified, a typical in-your-face flying saucer. And we haven't seen the flying disc in a while, but here it is, guys. Look at, we're getting even closer imagery of this. It oscillates a little left to right, almost resembles the gimbal video from you know, that 2017 Navy footage that doesn't really show you much clarity. Well, this is very good footage that is being released from the public. Forget the military footage. Third phase moon and the public is where you're going to see the big UFO sightings. Guys, we're just saying, and I think you could agree, you're seeing the good stuff right here. Brent, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, it's good. The big explanation is we really don't know what it is. Could it just be a typical man-made drone dressed up as a cylindrical object, creating the saucer effect? That's definitely the case. Even the wobbling grabs my attention. It seems man-made. This is definitely, in my opinion, not otherworldly, but it is curious because these are the sightings that people look and explain when we talk to them. They say they look like the flying saucer, and this is a good example. Again, the lights flashing on it. Could it be a mocked-up drone imitating something like this? Again, what we're looking at is not CGI. This is definitely up in the sky. This is legit. We just don't know what it is.
That's right, and we're trying to find out. And again, after looking at this a little closer, I'm still on the fence, Brent. I'm not sure if this is something conventional. I've never quite seen this kind of drone in the sky, but you never know what people are up to. We're just sharing you the evidence. Speaking of evidence, let's get to the next video just in. Watch this. The video doesn't last very long, but we thought it'd be worthwhile to share it with you because, again, we're not seeing any manipulation. You've seen recent video on the news of the Mosul orb or some videos making it to the major media, but you're not seeing very much clarity. Right here, we're looking at something that resembles that, but something now in really good clarity. Again, third phase moon bringing it to the table. Guys, what's your thoughts? Is this some kind of balloon that's just so happened to be in a perfect position? It seems like it just stops right there, right over the tower. Again, could this be manipulated? I'm not exactly sure. I meant to slow this down as the bird passes by. Let's watch. You know, I'm not seeing any. If this is CGI, they did a pretty good job masking over the bird, but I'm leaning towards that this is legit, the way everything is kind of locked in, but it's hard to tell on this one. A simple orb, it could be easily manipulated, but you never know. This Mosul orb, they're making and breaking the news on it. I don't know, could that have been fake that they're sharing on the major news? It's hard to tell with these just simple orb shots, but again, I thought it was compelling enough to share with you. I did some enhancements right there. It seems that hawk seemed to pass in front of it. I'm not seeing any manipulation of rotoscoping or anything like that. Brent, what's your thoughts?
Let's just say it's real, and we could just all look at it this way. I like the way it moves from right to left. It makes that position there, and that's curious. That makes us all look at it and saying what's going on here, because balloons really don't produce that kind of motion. If it's real or not, it could be CGI. Still on the fence on this one. We got some more stuff coming up next.
That's right. Take a look at this. We did tell you, everybody, right here at Third Phase of Moon. Here's the date, April 29th. We streamed it in regards to the F-22 activity over our home on the Big Island of Hawaii, and we speculated something wasn't right. And we also stated that there might be something in regards to the UAP phenomenon. Well, listen up to this. Stephen Gross put some pictures on his Facebook showing the F-22 Raptors. There were multiple Raptors, I think 4 at the most, but what's crazy is some of the reactions from the people. There's the jets all parked. There's 4 of them that I count, absolutely. Apparently, Scott Wilson stated this. Listen.
Not long after we took off from Hilo, the departure controller called us and the other aircraft near Hilo to tell us that the Honolulu control facility had just told them that there was a military operation over the Big Island and all civilian aircraft were to remain offshore until further notice. The controller had no other information about it. About 20 minutes later, an F-22 declared an emergency and was given landing instructions. The F-22 was transmitting on UHFs, so we couldn't hear what the pilot was saying on our VHF radio, but we could hear the controller on VHF. Air traffic control transmits on both UHF and VHF simultaneously. The controller never repeated back what the emergency problem, I don't know what it was. An inbound Transair Shorts 360 cargo plane and Hawaiian 717 were told the airport was closed due to the emergency and told to hold about 10 and 20 miles north of the airport respectively. After the F-22 landed, they were told to continue toward the airport. Then, a second F-22 declared an emergency for low fuel, per what the controller repeated back to the F-22 pilot that we could hear on VHF, and everyone had to hold again. After the second F-22 landed, the Transair and Hawaiian planes landed. We landed about 20 minutes later. As we taxied and I asked the tower controller if they had any more information about what was happening. He said they didn't. I checked the Hawaii News Now and Hawaii Tribune Herald websites, and they had no mention of anything about these events.
All right, this is quite interesting because the major news is telling us right now that there is something that these F-22 scrambled. Here's some video that we're sharing with you, but what's crazy is that we're the first to report it. It took the major media, I think, 3 days to finally break it to the public, but they're not sharing with you some of the information that we were receiving from the people on the ground in regards to emergency landings declared. Listen to this. Here's the jets. It's very, it's shaky footage, but it is happening. Something happened over our island, and the major media is still failing to report about the emergency landings required by the two F-22 Raptor pilots. Again, here's the date. We shared it. Again, the major media is not giving credit. April 29th, we covered this, and we're breaking down this situation with the F-22 Raptors declaring earlier that day an emergency landing 20 minutes apart. Again, this is very strange, unusual activity. Brett, what were they chasing? So far, the major media is stating that it was a balloon, but they said that they don't know what it is. So if they don't know if it's a balloon or why don't they just say it's a UFO? Obviously, something's going on, and whatever it is heading towards Mexico apparently right now.
Yeah, that's right, Blake. And well, it's crazy because this, whatever it was, flew right over our house. Because when we heard the jets flying, they were super low. They're in engagement, and it pretty much rattled the house and the windows. It was a wake-up call. We didn't know what was happening, and we didn't know if World War III was right around the corner. But right at that point, we're like, these guys are chasing something, and it took 3 days before the major media announced it. And on October 29th, when we talked about it on Third Phase of Moon, we're the first to break it, that these guys were engaging a possible unidentified flying object. We still don't know what it is, Blake.
Absolutely. There is no indication to what they were engaging. We just know that it happened right over our heads. And again, what's interesting, coming in from the statement from this pilot that was training that day, and he had his passenger, and they called into tower, and they're getting information from the helo tower that they were told to stand down to land. It was earlier that day, about 7:30 a.m. When these jets rolled over our home. That was approximately 5:15, 5:30 p.m. So they're hours apart. Could have this been a strange occurrence? Because we're tracking this object coming in from Alaska, apparently for days. We got to get the information, but these F-22s, again, this is speculation. In my opinion, were engaging this thing as it approached the Big Island earlier that day. And for some reason, two F-22 Raptors declared emergency landing, one for low fuel and the other not exactly known, but 20 minutes apart. Could have this object messed with their equipment, as some pilots state when they come in close proximity to the phenomenon. I'm just saying, it's just very bizarre. Two F-22 Raptors file a declaration of emergency to land at the Hilo airport. This is very strange. Something's not adding up, Brent.
Yeah, that's why we're here. Third phase of moon. It's really cool because we're a part of it. These things flew right over us. I would say probably the UFO was right over our head too. I wish we had a little bit more heads up on that. We would have got that for you on camera, but it's proven, and people are wondering what we're dropping down 3 days ago if it's fact. Well, it's proven now that the major media has just dropped that there's been F-22 pilots engaging unidentified objects over the Big Island. So that's pretty cool. Going back to this earlier UFO is fascinating. This is the one that catches my interest because we're looking at phenomenon that's we don't see. This is very unusual stuff, Blake.
Absolutely. These people that are flying their drones, I'm sure a lot of people don't even know or realize what they're capturing on their camera sensors. But if you go back and look at it very closely, sometimes you might find these gems. And this is one of those UFO video gems, in my opinion, that's really neat because you can see it. You see it the way it angles, it twirls. It seems that this is geometric in shape, like a rod, but a rod that I haven't seen, and metallic in nature. Again, some kind of space, secret space program, Lockheed Martin, Skunk Works, DARPA. It's just hard to tell. This is just interesting stuff, and that's why we're sharing it with you. And by the way, again, UFO Endgame, our latest documentary, is still taking the top spots on Amazon and iTunes. It's blowing up. Everybody, be safe out there. Here's the trailer, and if you've captured anything amazing, contact us at Third Phase of Moon.
We do expect to be able to...
When everything else fails, and they got nothing else, they're going to have to go to fake alien invasion.
It's a mind-blowing situation. For the public, it's like, oh, a conspiracy theory, it's entertaining. But if you're actually in a responsible position and you find out that there's a whole secret government program that you don't know about, it's a shock.
This report comes from a shadowy Pentagon department that was shut down in 2012.
The disclosure movement has been hijacked by people parroting the narrative and the script being written by these black projects. I would say 90+% of everything that's going to come out is false.
There's going to be no more of these near misses.
The most widely seen UFO right now is not alien, it's actually ours.
It's a great cover story for all kinds of criminal activities. Blame it on the aliens, right?
If we are being visited by interdimensional beings, we should know about it.
This has the big disadvantage of the truth being much more unbelievable than the fiction.
It's the crash retrievals that are the Rosetta Stone for solving the UFO cover-up.
This is Operation Failsafe.
The implications of this is the difference between extinction level civilization versus one that's going to take off to the stars.
Oh, what the hell?